This chapter is on 17 and 18. So it will be covering pathways and integrative functions, as well as the autonomic nervous system. So when we talk about characteristics of pathways, it's all about the central nervous system communicating with a peripheral body structure through various pathways. So it could either be sensory or it could be motor information. There's also processing and integration that's happening continuously. And these pathways, they travel through the white matter of the brain stem or the spinal cord as they connect to central nervous system regions within cranial and spinal nerves as well. These central nervous system pathways, they consist of tracts. You should know that the word tracts means that it's a group of axons that travel together in the central nervous system. It also consists of nuclei, and you should know that nuclei are clusters of cell bodies. So sensory pathways are always going to be ascending pathways because they're going to move in a superior direction from the body to the brain. So you just have to remember what their destination is. Pathways that are going in the opposite direction are called motor pathways, and they are descending pathways that transmits motor information from the brain to the muscles or the glands. So again, think about the destination. Pathways are going to share some similar characteristics. For example, the neuron component location is going to be collections of neuron cell bodies, which are referred to as a nucleus. The neuron axons are in tracts of the brain and the spinal cord. And these tracts are often pairs. So there's going to be one that's on the left side and the right side of the body. And what happens is these neuron tracts are going to involve two or more neurons. So, for example, the sensory pathways are going to have a primary neuron and a secondary neuron. And the motor pathways, which are the descending tracts, are going to involve an upper and a lower motor neuron. So again, remember sensory pathways means that they are ascending, and motor pathways means that they are descending pathways. So examples of sensory pathways are going to ascend. They're going to conduct information about limb position, touch, temperature, pressure, and pain. So examples of these pathways include somatosensory pathways, which are stimuli from the skin, skeletal muscles, and joints. And the prefix soma in this case is referring to the body. So if they're coming from the body, muscle, or joints, they use a somatosensory pathway. If the information begins in organs, internal organs, for example, they conduct information received from the viscera to the central nervous system. So the pathways have to initiate with a receptor, and those receptors include things like tactile receptors, which could be in the skin, mucous membranes, or they monitor characteristics of an object, such as texture. They could also be in the form of what are called proprioceptors. Proprioceptors are specific receptors located within joints, skeletal muscles, tendons, and what they do is they detect information about stretch and pressure within that part of the body. There's a concept called hemispheric lateralization. And what this basically means is that both hemispheres remain in constant communication through the commissures, especially the corpus callosum. You know, a lot of times you've heard that it's a right brain thing or a left brain thing, But in reality, both hemispheres are going to be working in concert. Some may more than others. One interesting that they have correlated to this is with handedness. So they've discovered that left-handed individuals have a thicker corpus callosum, and either hemisphere may serve as the categorical hemisphere.